Hey guys, Chris here with the Good Old Gamer. So welcome to the second video of the day. This is actually the video that I wanted to do yesterday, but I had way too much fun at my birthday party Saturday night, so sorry for the delay. Alright, so over the weekend we got some really big information about RTX 3090, RTX 3080, and we already knew that, you can't buy a 3080 at this point, but what I find really funny is now we're already talking about 3080 20GB cards. So is the current 3080 that's sold out already out of date? Well, I'm going to pose that question to you guys, but we're going to go over all the information here today. Now, if you guys like these type of videos, please smash that like button. It's one of the best and easiest things that you guys can do to help get these videos out there. YouTube's had this nasty habit of trying to bury my videos here lately. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment in the comment section below. And then that tells YouTube, hey, this is a good video. Others should be watching this. And I really thank you guys for all your help and support. Alrighty, so before we really get into it, maybe you know this information, maybe you don't, but let's take a look at what happened over the weekend. Well, alrighty guys, heading on over here to videocards.com, we can see back on September 18th, we got basically a leaked confirmation from Gigabyte. So it's kind of a leak, but not. This is more like a screw up, where they actually have listed here the, they call it an N308S gaming, so 3080 of course, and they have 20GD, stands for 20 gigabytes. Now, this is something that we knew was going to happen. What I find really ironic is that this information's already getting out there and is mostly confirmed at this point. We knew it was going to happen eventually, but the fact that there's going to be an RTX 3080 20 gig, that pretty much means the current 10 gig model is already out of date, which I find really hilarious. Next thing I want to bring up is the leaked RTX 3090 tests that came out. There's actually a lot of data out there. They did a lot of benchmarks, and it comes out being about 10% faster. So the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because obviously that means there's not a big difference between the 3090 and 3080. So the 20 gigabyte version won't actually be any faster than the current 3080. They need to leave that little bit of extra room to basically make a 12 gigabyte 3080 Ti to give it that 10% boost. Now, in this, there's actually a lot more information, like you can see the 3070 16 gig. So a lot of people are wondering if that's like a 3070 Ti or that type of thing. You can kind of go through the article if you want. It's just over here on videocards.com. But overall, they came up with some spec ideas. But like I said, ironically, the 3080 isn't any bigger than the current 3080 10 gig, which it really can't be, because if they make it any bigger, it's going to compete with the 3090. Bumping up the 3070, this is likely the fully unlocked GA104 chip. They could slot that in at $599. There's a perfect price point for it. They could just pop that in there, and that would make a lot of sense. And we've already talked about the 3060 Super on the channel. That's obviously just a much more cut down 104 die. That's obviously just to hit that $399 price point before the holiday season. So alrighty then, so we clearly now know that NVIDIA is planning a counterattack, I guess you could say, for Big Navi. When that shows up later on in October, NVIDIA can just slot in cards in many different areas. What I find funny is the fact that Gigabyte let it slip that this is official. Now, we all knew it was going to happen, but we didn't have any definitive evidence. Being from an AIB partner, sure, it could be a troll, this could be a plant from NVIDIA. Leaks nowadays you can't really trust, but at the same time, these are all things that we were figuring were going to happen. The really ironic part is right now, while everybody's scalping each other for 10 gigabyte RTX 3080s, you now know a 20 gigabyte model is most likely coming, and it's probably coming sooner than we all thought. I figured we wouldn't hear anything until after Big Navi, so sometime in November, and maybe with like a late December launch. Probably like right before Christmas, so this way they could get some extra sales out of it. That was always my assumption, but it looks like NVIDIA, from what I'm seeing out there, it looks like they're going to push this up. So by the time we have 8 gigabyte 3070s launching, there might be like 16 gigabyte 3070s or 3070 Ti's announced right afterwards. And we're only talking about a month from now, and the RTX 3080 10 gig that, like I said, everybody's killing each other over, might be out of date. So to me, this is one of those big flashing neon sign saying, all right, everybody, we should probably all cool off and wait and see what happens. And with the supply shortage from NVIDIA, waiting for Navi seems to be the smart thing for everybody to do. Back when the 30 series was announced, I told you guys if you can get your hands on one at the MSRP price, you might as well get one because it'll be just fine. But now we know that you can't just go get one. It's not as simple as that. So at this point in time, does it not just make sense to see what the competition will bring, what the prices will be? Because now we know that NVIDIA really will have something in place. Now, the other reason why I wanted to bring this up is since we now know what the 3090 performance looks like-ish, roughly, being about 10% faster than the 3080, this gives us the best case scenario for NVIDIA. That's the fastest GPU that they can make. I know you're going to say, oh, well, it's cut down. It's only got 2 extra SMs. That'll deliver at best maybe 1% performance gain. It's going to do literally nothing for the card. Even the extra memory bandwidth over the 3080 isn't helping. So it's not memory bandwidth starved. And the SMs, I mean, it's significantly higher than what the 3080 is, but it doesn't perform much better. There's clearly another bottleneck in the GA102 die that just doesn't allow the cards to really go too much faster than the 3080. So something like a 3080 Ti, which we all speculated could be a thing, really doesn't make any sense because what is it going to be, 5% faster? That's not going to matter. Even if you have the 12 gigabytes of RAM, why would you choose that over a 3080 20 gigabyte? That to me is going to make more sense than even a 12 gigabyte 3090 or whatever they're going to do. So we now know basically where NVIDIA stands on the top of the line. And there's really nothing that they can do to make that card go any faster. They'd have to redesign the whole GA102 with HBM to lower power draw to then throw all that power into higher clock speeds to make it faster. So NVIDIA would have to spend a ton of money just to make a new flagship chip, which might sell a few thousand units. So I don't see them doing that. So what this all says to me is AMD has a serious chance of not only just beating the 3080, because if they could push it just 10% higher, they're now competing with the 3090. And this is definitely possible if they come out with an 80 CU unit, which that part is still up in the air. There's conflicting information. But if we look at the card that they clearly designed here, I think it looks like they're trying to be super aggressive. You have 2 8-pins there, so that's 375 watts total, and it's got a nice triple fan cooler. So this is going to draw a lot of power on a much more advanced node. I'm thinking they got a shot here. So to me, it does not make sense really going out there and paying scalper prices for a 10 gigabyte RTX 3080 right now. I mean, it never did to me to begin with, but the fact that this card is likely going to be replaced within a month or two, I don't know if you guys really should be buying these anymore. I figured they would take a little bit longer. I figured NVIDIA would wait until they had 2 gigabyte GDDR6X chips, but it looks like to compete, they're willing to just throw 20 1 gig chips on a board and sell them to you guys. And yeah, to me, that makes a whole lot more sense, as that card's going to be just a hair slower than the 3090 with almost the same amount of RAM. So ultimately, my whole takeaway from all this is let's definitely wait and see what Navi has to offer, what the pricing will be, and let's see what NVIDIA will then counter offer with. And then I think it's going to be the right time to start jumping in on these. But I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Do you find it as funny as I do that the 3080 is basically already out of date? That card that you just bought, it's a little out of date. Not that it's going to matter. Realistically, the 10 gig version is going to work just as well as the 20 gig version for the foreseeable future. But the 20 gig version will last a whole lot longer. If you like keeping your cards for 2 or 3 generations, definitely wait for a 20 gig version. From all indications that I'm seeing, AMD is going to be having at least 16 gigabytes of RAM on their chip or on their GPU. So I would probably want to see if NVIDIA just slots that right on top. Maybe they just eliminate and phase out the 10 gig model if AMD is hyper competitive with their prices. Instead of replacing it or charging more money, they'll just slot the 20 gig version in at $699. I don't know. I assume that they want to charge a premium for it, but depending how competitive AMD is, I mean, anything's possible. NVIDIA doesn't really like lowering prices. They would rather just replace things. That's usually how they do it. So I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if that happens. And like I said, the other big takeaway is anybody expecting a 3080 Ti, just get that, throw that away. That's just not going to happen. There's not enough performance difference between the 3090 and the 3080. So yeah, the 3090 is your Ti, and honestly, there's really not much they can do to really make that faster. So if AMD can beat the 3090, then they win the generation, guys, and it's just that simple. So we'll know here shortly, just a little bit over a month. We do have the official RDNA 2 release. I will be doing a live stream on that. I'm hoping AMD wises up with all the bad press that NVIDIA is getting with their whole launch debacle. They should probably move that up, but I don't see it happening. But anyway, whenever they announce this, I will be doing a live stream. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Love to see you there. You can get my live reactions. And Celso from Cortex, he wants to join me on that one. And I think he might even be with me on the Zen 3 one as well. I do have to confirm with him there. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with him on the NVIDIA reveal. So I'm like, hey, let's do it again with the AMD reveal. But things are getting super interesting here, guys. But the smart play right now, considering the limited availability, considering the fact that the 3080 is already going to be replaced, best thing you can do is just wait at this point in time. That's my stance. But of course, I would love to hear your opinions on this. What are your thoughts? Did you buy a 3080? Are you one of the 5 people that got one? Are you using it? Are you reselling it? Let me know in the comment section below. Are you going to wait, see what the whole playing field is, then make your decision? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please share with friends. That really does help me out. That's all I have for today, and I will catch you guys in the next video.